Welcome everyone to another episode of Ask the Surveyor podcast. I'm Lee Robinson from Ashton Surveyors, and today we're talking about shutters and blinds. Today we have John Bennett Riley of Largo Shutters, who's going to tell us all about window coverings.
You're in for a treat, Lee.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Have you always lived in Essex?
Yeah, always lived in Essex. Live in Shotgate now with my wife and two lovely kids. Closer to animals than they are humans.
I only know Shotgate for the Chinese there. It's nice.
Oh, which one though? There's two.
Oh,
are you
yes.
King's Garden or Wing Hing?
I don't know which is which, but it's next to the off licence.
It's the Wing Hing. Yeah. It's the right one.
Oh, okay, good.
King's Garden's a bit too healthy.
So, tell us a little bit about your background. Have you always been involved in window shutters, or have you had it?
No, not always been involved in window coverings. My background is construction, groundworks, mainly, operationally, running teams, doing different sorts of groundworks. But COVID led to redundancy, led to a career change, and I got into hardwood shutters. I was lucky with a company I got into. They trained me very well, and it's now what I specialise in.
So it's a lot cleaner.
A lot cleaner
Don't
and a lot
muddy
warmer.
boots.
I can wear shorts all year round.
So how long has Largo Shutters been going now?
So Largo has been going for 9 years now. We bought the business just over 2.5 years ago from the original owner, and yeah, it's been going well.
Have you got any interests? Do you play long bowls or anything like that?
I'm not skilled enough at long bowls. I enjoy all sports, but I'm a runner. I've been training to do various distances, and I've signed up for my first half marathon, but because I run for my boys' charity to raise money for that. So one of my biggest, definitely running. I love watching all other sports as well.
Do you want to give the charity a little mention?
The charity for my son is called Reach, and they support kids and young adults throughout their life for upper limb differences. They do great work, and they've been a great help and support to us, hence why I want to raise money for them, to just try and give back, really.
Must be passionate about it. I tried running. It's hard. As you can see, I'm not the shape for a runner, but I give it a go now and again.
Yeah, it is mentally very taxing, and I've had 3 knee operations as well, so running wouldn't be a natural sport for me, but it feels like the easiest way to put my body on the line to raise money. So
it is mentally tough, but I love the feeling after running. It's if you could bottle it up and sell after run, it'd be. And then Garrett said to me, "Yeah, it is out there. It's called alcohol." But,
is that right?
Yeah, it releases your endorphins, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
So, getting back to shutters, what types of different products do you fit?
So we do all types of window coverings. We specialise in plantation style shutters, which the materials vary from hardwoods, certified hardwoods. There's 2 different types, a premium and then a middle of the road one, and then there's your UPVC and composites, which are generally at the more budget friendly side of the market, and then you get MDF. We don't actively do MDF, but
so can we go straight to basics for the viewer? What is a shutter and what is a blind?
So a shutter is a permanently fixed window covering. So it generally is 4-sided frame. It may have T-posts, but it's got panels that open and close and the louvers that move within that panel. It is a permanent window fixture. You're not going to take it with you. It's truly bespoke to that window, whether it be a bay, a shape, rectangle. A blind, it's usually an upfixing. It's far simpler in its design, in how it's put together. And blinds range from Romans to rollers, Venetians.
And they're lighter in material, where a shutter is more solid.
Yeah, a shutter will give far better benefits to most blinds or other window coverings because it's a four-sided frame that's sealed in, and it's a hardwood generally. 90% of what we install is hardwood. It's going to be a better insulator, so it will help during summer keep the room cooler. It's why plantation-style shutters exist, to help keep a room cooler, but also monitor light and privacy. You can adjust light and privacy so much better. It's not an all or nothing solution. And in winter, when it's cold, again, being a hardwood, it stops the heat escaping because it's a natural insulator.
So what are the benefits for shutters over blinds?
One, they're truly bespoke, so they will match the window perfectly because they can be made to any shape or size that we ask for. So if you've got bay window, is a great example, is that it's one complete frame with bay posts that are in line with the window bay, and then that matches the true angle of the window. You can't do that with a blind. It would be, say it's a 5-sided bay, it would be 5 individual blinds, so they will have light gaps where they join. They won't fit perfectly to the window. There's always...
They fight with each other.
Yeah,
where they
exactly.
don't fit exactly, yeah.
Whereas a shutter is going to be perfect for it. It looks...
They look brilliant on the outside, shutters.
And on the inside. They're such an elegant finish to a room. And it'll only ever benefit a room, make it lighter and brighter.
It definitely improves the curb appeal.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. If you had 5 houses down the street, one that had shutters but they're all up for sale, I know which one's getting sold first. It's going to be the one with the shutters because it's all done. You don't have to do anything to that. They all come with a 10-year guarantee, which if they've been fitted for a year, that guarantee gets passed on to the next owner.
So you did say you fit blinds as well, made to measure?
Yeah, we do all made to measure window cones. So that does include Romans, roller blinds, Venetians.
So what is a Roman?
So a Roman is, when it's down, it looks like one piece of fabric, but then as you pull it up, it pleats, so that when it's at the top, it's got a stack with the folds of fabric behind it. And the fabric choice on that is endless. I mean, we carry just on the vans around about 475 fabric samples for a Roman. So they can be really good for injecting colour in a different way. If you've got a slightly different finish that you're after for, because of the amount of fabrics there are, you can really get them to blend with something that's on the sofa, the colour of the sofa. You can get cushions made. We can make the cushions the same fabric as the Roman blind. So it all matches in nicely and ties in nicely.
So you would take a picture of the sofa and then try and match it, bring samples?
Yep. We also work in partnership with interior designers that have access to even more fabrics. So if we can't find it, we've got partners that will be able to find it, and then we can make it all in-house and fit it as well. To be truly bespoke and unique. We're not supplying something that's off the shelf. We're supplying something that's personal to what that person's taste is and the style that they're going for. In
the scenario of a customer who discovered a fabric somewhere,
could
they supply you the fabric and you could make it?
Yes, 100%. If they did find a fabric and there's enough meterage for what we're trying to achieve, then yeah, we can do that. Most of the time we'd say to them, instead of because we can buy it at a better rate generally than what our customers could, just supply us a sample and we'll either find exactly where it's come from or be able to get nearest damn it to it, to be able to give them a much better price overall.
So that's Roman blinds. What was the other types?
So you've got roller blinds. These are probably the most popular for motorisation. So roller blinds as a manual option, they are a great solution. They're very cost effective, great value for money. Again, great colour and fabric selection. So if you want a pattern, you can. If you want a block colour, it's there, and you've got a good colour palette for it. They are more limited than what we call like a Roman or a curtain in their fabric choice, but there's a huge range.
What rooms would you find them in? I've seen personally in bathrooms and kitchens.
Yeah, you do get a lot of roller blinds in kitchens along bifold doors. We put a lot of motorised roller blinds on because they're big spans. They're great value for covering that square meterage. And then once you motorise it, it just makes it so simple to use. You can set timers on it. You can control it by your phone. You just ask it to go up and it will go up. You can get them. People do put them in bedrooms because they're a good blackout solution. They're not the best blackout solution, a roller blind, but again, they're cost effective. They're a good entry into the market where you can personalise without paying a huge amount of money.
So you may use a roller blind as a secondary blockout to give it support something else.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
So you mentioned the Romans, the roller shutter blinds, Venetian.
Venetian is entry level to market, really. It is, if you've got a new build, want something quickly, we can turn them round in 7 to 14 days.
For the viewer, knows nothing about blinds.
Venetian.
Can you do an overrun? Just a quick basic. So Venetian is the strips,
slatted, yeah,
with the strings.
Yes. A Venetian is slatted, generally 50mm slat, strung blind, where it'll have a tilt on the left and you pull it up from the right. A roller blind is as it sounds. It's on a roll. It rolls down. They can be various different fabrics.
That's
colours.
like a chain, isn't it?
Yeah.
So put it up and down.
That's it, yeah, just a beaded chain. You can get them. They're the most commonly motorised blinds, would be a roller blind. Then a Roman blind is a step up in terms of it's much more fabric. It's pleated, so it goes up in it's either cascade or stack, they call it, but it basically pleats upwards. And then a shutter is made from hardwood. It has a four-sided frame with hinged panels that open, along with louvres that open and close to give you privacy and light.
And they give you the elite look, don't they?
Yes, definitely.
Is there any other window coverings that you do as a company?
So we do curtains as well. We all know what curtains are.
Yeah.
We do motorised curtains, believe it or not, as well. That is a thing. People do want it. Curtains have stepped up in popularity as well recently. It's mad. That there is a big market for curtains out there. And again, we work with a company in Cambridge called Sally Young Interiors, and it's Charlotte that I deal with. They specialise in that side of it in terms of the fabric and curtain options, and they're great for us to work with because they really give us that step up on the curtain side. Their knowledge and fabric is really good, and then we can get all of the fittings all made, handmade in the UK for curtains, which is really nice, and they're local as well. Yeah,
they're good for blocking out light. I done a survey yesterday actually, and I had a cinema room. And I was trying to turn on the lights, and I turned on the curtains, and they started all opening up. They were really heavy, thick. Yeah. They were motorised, and I thought, "Oh, this is the dream."
Yeah, we've recently priced a cinema room, funnily enough, for blackout curtains. So it'll be black fabric on both sides with then an acoustic interlining. So it gives that much better sound. So when they're closed, it helps really keep that reverberation down.
They're so robust.
But that's why they weigh so much. I think there was a set done on a big cinema room up in Cambridge. I think the curtains weighed 62 kilos.
Wow. Big. Light work for you though, eh?
Yeah, you know.
So have we missed any window treatments? Do you do any mirroring or anything like that? Or
we don't do any filming or mirroring. It's not our area of expertise. Yeah, we do bead fit or glass fit blinds, free hanging plate. I mean, this is endless now. So you get glass fits, on French doors.
Yeah.
You can get ones that go directly to the glass, or something called a perfect fit, which is a bead fit. So it has a little bracket that goes behind, and there's an aluminium frame that clips onto that houses the blind. And you can you can have top down, bottom up. You can have blackout light filtering. We try and stick with anything that goes on the window with a honeycomb material, either light filtering or blackout. The Venetian options for the ones that go on the glass or bead fit, they're not very good, if I'm honest with you. We advise customers that honeycomb would be better. And then you get free hanging pleated, which is just a bigger version. They're sprung loaded, intrinsically safe. They're blackout, but you can measure them super tight within a reveal. So they would be a secondary blind, as you might have curtains or a different blind in front of it. But you could pull that down and it would keep the room really dark. You could even put a shutter in front of it.
So we've covered all the common choices out there that you supply.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah, because there is... my brain's going mad for the amount of different...
Yeah, we talk about the common ones. But they can contact you for anything specialist that they know about.
Yes.
So, John, if I decided to buy some shutters or wanted some shutters today, what is the process? Initial call to yourself?
Yes, you'd either fill out a lead form or you'd call the office up. They'd book myself and my business partner Louis in for what we call a home design appointment. We'd come out with all of our samples. I'd run you through all of the different style and design choices for a shutter, and then go through the configuration for each window that you'd want covering. Then I measure everything for fit at that point. We're able to price it at that point because it's an easy calculation for us. Shutters are worked out purely on square meterage, so we price very honestly from the start. So bigger the window, more it's going to cost. Littler window, less it's going to cost. Once I've done all that, I can leave a price on the day. If you're happy to go ahead, the next thing is I get everything on order. Next time you see me, I'm fitting them.
Oh, so you'll do the actual critical measurements when you're there?
Yeah, because...
You don't have to come back?
Yeah. Me and Lou are both surveyor fitters that specialise in shutters. We can do all window coverings because of that. So whilst we're out there doing a design appointment, we might as well measure the windows for fit as well, because it saves having to go back. It doesn't take us any longer, really. We can get all our measurements, work it all out. If you're happy to go ahead on the day, great. If you need some time to think about it and you call us up in 2 weeks' time, all we have to do is take a deposit, and then we can get everything on order. Next time you see me is when I'm fitting them.
In construction, there's a great saying that everyone used even when I was an apprentice carpenter, is measure twice, cut once. Is that the same in your industry?
So my double check isn't measure twice because I'm that good. One, it's the tools that I use to measure. So I use a measuring stick. I wouldn't use a tape measure or a laser. They're unreliable. And I know that'll be controversial in that industry because some people do it differently. But the biggest thing that I do that's my double check that stops that is a diagonal measure. Make sure the window's square. So if I take my width and my height, I can work out what the diagonal is going to be of my shutter frame. And then if I offer that diagonal measurement into the window, I'll know if as long as it fits in there, my diagonal can't be bigger than the diagonal the window allows, otherwise I can't square it up. So if I take the two diagonals and it works, I know it's going to fit. So that's my double check. That's my measure twice. Take my height, my width, work out everything else, check the diagonal of the window. Anything above 10 mil difference in diagonal, you've got to take more off. Because I've had jobs that weren't measured by myself, but I've gone back to. I'm not going to mention any names, Louis. And he didn't check his diagonal. It measured parallel. So when it measures parallel, you don't realise that it's leaning like that. So if you used to check your diagonal, the diagonals are going to be very different. They were 28 mil different. I'm not going to say what I did to get that in, but we truly bespoke that shutter.
This leads on to the next question of there is window companies out there that you can go online, measure them yourself, enter the measurements, and then get them delivered. And I think that's high risk, especially if you're not, as you say, not used to of experience of measuring your diagonals. I don't think they even ask that question, do they? On these,
no, they wouldn't.
On these,
because there's no risk for that online company. There's no background service. They're just going to tell you that they need the height and the width. But at the very start of my training, the thing I was talked about and taught about is tolerance and diagonal. If you don't know what your tolerance is from the narrowest point, you can only find the narrowest point of a reveal with a measuring stick, because it's collapsible and it's made specifically for that, to find that narrow spot.
Oh, right. So is it like a slider stick, is it?
Yeah, so it goes up to 3 metres and it extends out in sections. You pop it in the reveal, you slide it to the back, slide it down, slide it to the front and back up, and then you take your tolerance of whatever that narrow point is. and then you check your diagonal. And if you don't do these things, you might get lucky and it might go in. I've gone to plenty of jobs where they've bought a shutter, just one, from online. One, they can't get it levelled out because they don't know how to, because it isn't then just the measuring. We're fitting it. We know how to fit it and square it out because they have to be square for them to work properly. So, and you're probably not really saving a huge amount of money. Yes, you can buy a shutter online. It's definitely the biggest risk, a do-it-yourself shutter, because you'll be investing money with a lack of knowledge.
Yeah, you are relying on luck.
Yeah, and I know carpenters that you would expect to be very good at what they do, and they are good at what they do, but they've tried to fit a shutter and they can't, because it's a unique skill set for us, and it's what I was trained to do.
So it'd be like a window fitter, towing, heeling, and
a window fitter can definitely most relate to what we do. If I could say of any trade that could do what, if we gave them a shutter and asked them to fit, I reckon they'd probably get the closest to a good fit.
So make sure you get a reputable local shutter guy instead of online.
Yeah, 100%. It's also about getting I'm going to go on now. It's all about getting the right fixing as well. Yeah, how do you fix it? How do you finish it?
Yeah.
We use a hybrid caulk. We don't use decorator's caulk because it cracks and shrinks and discolours. We use a hybrid caulk. It comes from Germany, and it's specific for its job. It's an acrylic sealant, so you can still paint it, but it's far more flexible than a normal caulk. It's all these little things that add up to that service and that proper fit.
Attention to detail.
Yeah, when I walk away from a shutter, it looks like it's always been there. That's what you're aiming for. You want it to go in like it's always been. It shouldn't stand out of place. And a poorly fitted shutter can truly stand out. If you haven't sealed it in properly, levelled it out properly, if all the doors are like this and they don't open properly, it becomes an annoyance rather than a premium window covering all of a sudden. So, yeah. Also, the material that you buy online, it isn't hardwood generally. It's usually a composite, which is very flimsy anyway, by nature. It's almost one of the single worst products that I've seen.
So you'll cater for different materials, reveals, like you got steel frame buildings and solid concrete, and you're all experienced with that. And
yeah,
and a top fixing is probably the hardest, is it, with a steel lintel?
Yeah, so
concrete lintel. Yeah,
concrete's pretty straightforward because just get the SDS out, don't you? And the old guns out as well, mate. You know, I'm not scared of the SDS. Not like you, maybe now.
Yeah, I'm getting on, mate. Yeah. 50.
To be fair, 50 miles.
Waiting to retire now.
You must only be a year away, mustn't you, to bus pass? In terms of fixings, just going back to that, you don't fix up with a shutter. Very rarely need to.
Okay.
It goes side and down. Blinds, they're generally much harder to fit because of a steel. If you've got a steel up there, they can be hard to get through, but we use particular screws or drill bits to get into the steel if we have to. It's why with roller blinds, we cassette all of our roller blinds because it gives us the ability to fix them anywhere. And if you mess up a fixing, one, it's hidden by the cassette and you can just move the bracket along slightly. So if you do get a snapped drill bit or something like that, it's easily gotten over. Whereas when you don't have a roller blind in a cassette and you've got to go up, the roller blind just has the two end brackets. You only get one chance at getting them in. If it goes wrong, you can be in a bit of trouble. But it's why you're paying for us to fit it, supply and fit it, not to...
I ordered a roller blind online. I'll tell you my little issue. It's in the kitchen.
I've seen it.
Yeah. But the dilemma I had was I had to do the minimal, because of the tiles go up to round like that. I had to do the minimal distance. And you're going to tell me what I should have done. So I ordered a line, and then when I put it up, yes. Of course, didn't think of that. Because then because the tiles bring out the width, and then further up the top, it hasn't got the tile. So, and then if I measured it to the width of the top, then the blind would have come down and it would have hit the tiles, wouldn't it? No?
No, I mean, this is where a made-to-measure blind would have saved you anyway. But the instep of a roller blind, so from bracket to fabric, is 25 mil either side as a minimum. So you probably would have had enough to measure wall to wall, and the fabric would have still dropped.
Still passed through.
Yeah.
But that's where experience comes in, eh?
Yes, definitely. But because you've got narrow, which is a common thing to do, you could have still gone for an upfixing. Because I'd imagine that there might be a small concrete lintel, or you might have a cat nick.
So you see the way I got over it was not very good, is it?
Because it stands out like a sort of thumb.
It does. But anyway.
I mean, it's ingenious. I appreciate that.
It works, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't knock it, but it wouldn't be how we would have finished it.
Yeah. No, of course. But anyway, that's why you get the experts in.
Oh, that's what you'd like to think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it wouldn't have looked like that, but it works. But it doesn't look good. So that's a good reason. That's another. Even on my own house, I should have, if I had this podcast before I fitted that blind, you wouldn't be taking a mickey out of it, would you?
No, I wouldn't at all. I was going to mention it to you earlier, but I just felt too bad for you.
It's all right. I'll get over it. I'll get you to fit another one. So is there different styles of blinds that suit different styles of properties?
Yeah, and it comes down to preference. I mean, I get asked all the time when I'm going into customers' houses, especially fabric options, what do you think of this colour compared to that colour? And it's hard for me to say because it's so personal to the person. Colour is such a preference. And there's certain houses, like Victorian houses and Georgian houses, I particularly like doing a tier-on-tier style of shutter. It just suits the window. So usually a sash window.
Tier on tier. Explain in simple terms.
So tier on tier, it's a shutter that acts like a stable door. So you've got a top door and a bottom door. So you can open the top doors back, leave the bottom one shut, just open or close the louvres. Gives you loads of light through the top, but loads of privacy as well. Because most sash windows with tier on tier.
So in simple terms, what is a tier on tier shutter?
So a tier-on-tier shutter is basically a shutter that acts like a stable door. So you've got a top door and a bottom door that open independently from each other. Sash window, the height's lovely, generally for the bottom tier where it finishes is above eye line. So you get all this privacy, but with the top doors folded back and open, you get loads of light through because 60% of your natural light is coming through the top third of that window, so it's a huge amount of light that it then lets in, and they just suit the style of property really nicely, like that sash window style.
So my windows are like tier openers on a window, I suppose. That would suit that, wouldn't it? Not everyone else can see my windows, but they've got top openers and they've got bottom openers.
Yeah, so tier on tier would suit your type of window. What I would say about your window, it doesn't have the height for it. So on an old sash window, they're generally round about 1,500 upwards in terms of height, and they're about a metre off the floor as well. So they get this lovely line to go to, but they've got the height to incorporate both doors, whereas your windows are slightly too short because they're like maybe between 900 and 1,100 on average. The top and bottom rails would be too thick and you'd cut out too much light. So in yours, you'd probably go for a full height shutter with an invisible split. So the top section of louvres moved independently to the bottom. So you can have all the bottom louvres closed, but the top louvres open. So you've got privacy and light.
I've seen them. Yeah, okay.
So shutters are the only...
The one panel is the same and it's just when you move the louvres,
That's it, yeah.
move different sections. Yeah, got it.
Yeah,
That's probably what I'll go for.
That's what I would recommend. Shutter is the only type of window covering that can manage privacy and light, because you can shut them bottom louvres, keep the top ones open, so you've got light coming in, but you've got privacy as well. Most other blinds are all or nothing. They're all the way down or all the way up. So it's either dark or light. You don't get that mix of light and privacy generally.
With shutters, can you do them in any colour or they just standard rail colours?
No, we can do any colour. I just recently installed a job in North London that was a colour called Niagara Blues 2. We got a sample of the paint, we shipped it off to our manufacturer, they matched it perfectly, and this was a colour drenched room, so it had to match, and it matched perfectly. The customers were over the moon. If you've got a Farron ball, Dulux, Crown, we generally only need to know the manufacturer and the name of the paint, and we can get it standard. If it's a bit off the wall, we can either match by a rail number, or we just get a sample of the paint, post it off, and then they analyse it and match it and then paint our shutter that colour. So we can do anything. It's completely customisable. And there's no additional cost for colour matching either. It's all the same standard square meterage cost.
So John, you've seen it all. Name some examples why people have wanting to increase their privacy.
So yeah, there is all sorts of reasons. Your house might be close to the actual pavement. The pavement might be slightly elevated, so they can see straight through your house. Shutters are great for stopping that, because you can shut that bottom half of louvres, keep the top ones open, and allow that light to come through to stop them seeing what either you're watching on telly or you're having for dinner. You might even back onto I've done plenty of houses where you say to customers, this can't get that busy down here because it's like a field. They go, the amount of dog walkers that are walking past. So we put a shutter up, they get privacy. One that sticks in my mind was a job in Colchester that they had. I'd done all the front of their house in shutters because that's where they needed privacy anyway, and they felt it was best used. And I mentioned to them about the one on the stairs. It's like a 2 metre tall window on the side of the house. It was a mound of dirt at the time. They go, no one ever walks there. And when I've gone back to fit the front of the house, they said, could you measure that up as well? Because we're walking between rooms and there's just so many dog walkers there. We need to have the privacy, because they had a young child. So if in the night they got up and that, you turn the light on, it's like a goldfish bowl. So that shutter gives you that privacy all year round. And
people do look in. It's human nature. People are nosy, aren't they? So.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't walk down the road and look through? But it's like a fly to a moth to a light, isn't it? You just you have to have a nose. I mean, I'm looking at people's windows because I want to see what they've got on them.
When I'm walking a dog, I see what they're watching.
Yeah.
And think, why are you watching EastEnders? We're in 2025, not 1985.
I always wonder why they're watching Tottenham or Arsenal play, but there you go.
Well, I agree. I agree with you there. That's privacy. What about security? Is there any better options than others?
So shutters are probably the best option from a security perspective, in that they just give another layer. From outside, people won't know. So if they get through the window, they've got this other layer. They don't know how that opens or how it works, and chances are they make a lot more noise getting in. I did a job for a lady in Chelmsford, lives in a bungalow, bedroom is at the front of the house with a bay. She wanted to be able to open the windows in summer, but felt that she never could because she didn't feel secure, that someone could just climb in through the window. We can add additional pop locks to any of our panels that give that extra layer of security. So you just push the lock in, you won't be able to get through without smashing the panel out, basically. Okay. So it really does add an extra layer of security if you wanted it, with very little additional cost. So
how is a pop lock operated? Is it just a pushing button or...?
Yeah, so the ones that we do at the bottom of the stile of the door, where you just push in and it sends a pin down into the frame. So it's just a metal pin. It can be adjusted over time, but it basically just stops the door. You can put them we put them top and bottom so that you don't get any flex, because it's still a wood material. It can flex and pop. So if you have a pop lock, we put them top and bottom. On just the opener, you don't need them on all of the doors. You just put them on the openers of where the window openers are, if you like, because all the doors open, all the panels open, but you just put them on where the window openers are. So if the window is open, no one can push that, whether you was there or not. It also stops people seeing in. So when they're walking past or whatever it is, you've still got that layer of privacy as well. So from a security perspective, that privacy gives you that added layer of security, because no one can see through anyway. And you don't even have to have the louvres fully closed. Just put them halfway to closed, No one can see them, but you're still letting loads of light in.
So for the Mrs. Hinches in the wheel, which are the best window coverings for cleaning or ease of cleaning?
Again, it's shutters hands down, because a Venetian, it moves all over the shop. A Roman, because or any other fabric covering can discolour over time. It collects dust. They can be hard to clean. A shutter, it's just a feather duster once every other week. If you get any bigger marks on it, it's just a damp cloth, really well wrung out. They're the only window covering that come with a 10-year manufacturer-backed warranty. So they're very easy to clean. By far the easiest to clean to any other window covering, if you used to ask me.
And what is the recommended way to clean a shutter?
So if it's hardwood, always just a feather duster or a very well wrung out damp cloth followed behind with a dry cloth. If it's UPVC and you're feeling a bit frisky, hose the thing down if you want. Doesn't matter. You can use anything on it. Just because of the way that they're painted with multiple layers of paint, we just don't recommend any strong cleaning chemicals or cleaning chemicals of any sort. They shouldn't need it, because over time it will take the paint off.
Let's go on to lead times, John, and what are lead times generally with the different products that you produce?
So quickest lead times are generally for stuff that's entry level into the market. So Venetians and roller blinds will have a turnaround time of anywhere between 7 days up to 3 or 4 weeks, depending on manufacturing capacity. Romans and curtains will take roughly 6 to 8 weeks, potentially, depending on how big, etc.
Does that alter if it's a manufactured one or handmade?
Yeah, manufactured Romans and curtains will definitely have a quicker turnaround. We can probably get that down to closer to 4 to 5 weeks. Handmade will definitely be close to 6 to 8.
Just go on a waiting list, yeah?
Yeah.
Not many of them are out, is there?
There isn't many seamstresses about. We're very lucky with the access we do have. But there's still a limitation to how much they can produce within a set time period. But the wait's worthwhile generally. Shutters do have the longest lead time. Depending on material, if you get a UK made shutter, you're looking at, you can get a turnaround in 10 to 14 days. If you get a European made shutter, it would be 4 to 5 weeks. Both of them options will be a UPVC or what we call a faux wood, so it'll be a plastic based shutter. The price is sort of 20% higher than a hardwood shutter. Hardwood shutters we can get starting at 8 to 10 weeks with Express, which we do as standard, to they can go up depending on if it's a shape or something specific that's far more bespoke because of the drawings, etc. we have to approve. It can go up to sort of 12 to 14 weeks as a maximum.
So, because windows need to be individually measured, I suspect the new builds they move straight in. They've got no curtains or blinds or.
Yeah, new builds are unique generally to when people are moving in because there is nothing up the windows. If you used to move to an existing property, there probably is something there. So the lead time is negated by something being at the window. So in a new build, lead time becomes far more important. But the way we get over that is that we just offer a free service for putting temporary blinds up. So should they go ahead with us, if we've measured on the day, whilst we're there, we carry the temporary blinds on our van. If they're happy to go ahead, we can either fit them then and there, or we can arrange to come back at a time that suits if they've decided to go ahead later. I'm doing a job in Felsted. The period it's taken to complete on their house has been quite long. We've measured everything and ordered it, but they're not moving in until the 3rd. So I'm going there 2 hours before they're due to move to get all the temporary blinds up. So from the moment they move in, they've got some form of privacy.
That's a good solution, because when I'm do new build snags and you see the houses that they've moved in recently, they got bits of cardboard up and all sorts.
It's awful. Yeah. I've seen it all with Correx and masking tape newspaper and stuff. The temporary blinds, they are as they sound, they're temporary, but that you can still open and close them, so you can still have light, you can still have privacy. especially if you've got young kids and stuff like that. It just helps darken the room slightly, but also just stops people from seeing in as well. So whilst you're getting changed and whatnot, gives you a bit of privacy in your own house, which is important, especially when the nights draw in and your house all of a sudden becomes like a goldfish bowl, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that leaves budget. So yeah, going from the cheapest to the expensive.
So in terms of window coverings, the lower end or best value for money sometimes is going to be a Venetian or a roller blind. They have the quickest turnaround and they're generally a low cost solution, but they're perfectly adequate in a lot of situations for what you need. Then you step up to a Roman blind. Romans are just inherently more expensive because there's more material involved, more manufacturing involved, and then there's also that cost difference between a manufacturing made one to one that's been handmade. Then there's shutters. Now shutters has quite a wide pricing. Although we price per square metre, depending on material, does change that. So the UK ones are generally about 20% more expensive than hardwood ones. So UPVC and faux wood, you get them quicker, you're paying for that lead time, and there's a slightly greater manufacturing process. Then there's hardwood. Hardwood has that lead time, but that mid pricing. And then you get UPVC that we get from the same place as hardwood, which we can get cheaper. So that's our MDF comparison, because MDF is the cheapest shutter material on the market. It's not the cheapest window covering, but we will not sell MDF. We will sell UPVC to compete. MDF, manufacturer back it for 3 years. UPVC, manufacturer back it for 10 years. But it does have a slightly longer lead time to compete at that. But 90% what I do is hardwood. And then the most expensive window covering generally is curtains. For two reasons, is that there's a lot of fabric generally because they're floor to ceiling, wall to wall most of the time. So you're covering a much greater area than just a window. And handmade curtains, they are a step above in terms of you might have a pelmet with them that's fabric covered in the same way. There's a lot more layering to it with a curtain. It's almost a misconception that curtains are a cheaper solution than a shutter. Shutters are expensive, but they're a premium product that's going to be in there for years that give you loads of benefits, from privacy to insulation to the light management, noise reduction, etc. A curtain is an all or nothing solution, but it's covering a much bigger area, and they are genuinely, well, most of the time, more expensive than what a shutter would be.
And they're handmade, they're labour intensive.
Very, yes.
So just going back to you say UPVC?
Yeah, UPVC.
Is there a limited colour choice with them?
Yeah, so UPVC, so anything that UPVC wise, it does limit because it has, so with UK made or faux wood, so what we can get in sort of 14 days roughly, it's white or an off-white. You lose some of the design options, and it's because it's got this quick turnaround. Manufacturing is limited in the UK, so it keeps it minimal, but that's what keeps its lead time quick. Then the other side of that, the other UPVC only comes in like a bright white with a certain control method. UPVC also has design limitations for width, bifolding, multifolding, certain splits. You wouldn't do bifolding doors in UPVC because it's heavier. Hardwood is lighter, inherently strong. UPVC requires an aluminium core to strengthen the panel, but the frame doesn't get that aluminium core as well. So there is more flex to a UPVC. So that's a great option for speed and turnaround. Doesn't always suit. Hardwood will always be the preferred choice. It's very good value for money still. You'd always be surprised that we fit shutters everywhere for all different walks of life, and they are far more achievable than some people think. They have this premium image, but actually their price is far more achievable than that.
So I'm guessing everyone's intrigued what you have fitted on your house.
I have a mixture of blinds and curtains and shutters. So I have a bit of everything, to be fair, because I like different things. And that's where we come in, and it's why we come out. We help go through that process of what's right for the look that you're looking for. You know, shutter isn't for everyone, just as a Roman isn't for everyone. But I really like Roman blinds. So I have some Roman blinds in my house. I have some shutters in my house. I don't have any Venetians.
Sounds like you've got a lot of windows. And
I haven't got a lot of windows, but you compare these as well. You don't have to just have one. You could have a shutter with a Roman over the top. So if you've got the benefits of a shutter, but that softness of a Roman blind as well that can really tie the room in. Or you can get the shutter with curtains. Because again, it's that fabric option that brings the room all together. Some people, and I like it as well, you just have shutters everywhere with no other fabric options, and they look beautiful like that as well. And that's why you can bespoke the colour, because if you want to make that shutter warmer, you don't want that clinical white, you want just an off-white. We do that. I've got about 50 colour swatches of just whites that we can do as standard. So it's...
Going back to budget, so to get the biggest impact on a budget, we'll just do the front of the house, and which is common, isn't it?
Yeah, we get different. Everyone is different. Some people do it a window at a time. Some will do downstairs first, then upstairs. Some will do the front of the house, then the back. Some people just do the bedrooms, and the downstairs is always left very different. It is a bit of a mix, but that's where we're good, because we can do any window covering, so we can match whatever you're after to any budget as well. I mean, I like shutters across the front because it's consistent, and I love consistency.
So what is the current lead time to get you to come visit?
Lead time for us, we can, depending on area, we can generally get to a home design appointment from point of inquiry to me or Louis coming out would be a minimum or maximum of 7 days.
Thanks, John, for coming on and educating us everything about windows and shutters and blinds and curtains. Been very insightful. So if anyone wants to get hold of you, how do they find you?
Go to our website, keylargoshutters.co.uk. You can call the office up on 01376 617 520. On Insta and Facebook, we're all over that as well.
Can you say the website a bit slower? Key Largo
Shutters. Key Largo. Do you want me to say it, or do you want? All right. Keylargoshutters.co.uk.
Thanks for watching another episode of Ask the Surveyor podcast. I'm your host, Lee Robinson from Ashton Lee Surveyors. See you next time.